What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Language, Litigation, and Integration Part 9, Boredom, a Fate Worse Than Death. In this episode, we're going to be talking about psychology, individual psychology, and groupthink. Good old groupthink. We're going to keep laying into the American way of life. I would say the American way of life, but frankly, Americans don't have a way of life. It's just a bunch of underdeveloped individuals that tolerate each other's presence enough to call each other friends. And then when a disaster hits, when a natural disaster hits, a terrorist strike, all of those zombied out individuals, they snap out and say, oh yeah, we should care about each other. But the reality is you don't care about each other 99% of the days. Evidenced by your actions, evidenced by your markets, evidenced by the consumption of consumer goods. So we're going to explore that more. Why do people do drugs? Do drugs. Any drugs. I don't do drugs. Definitely don't do any drugs. Wink, wink. But why do people do drugs at all? We're going to explore that question. Why do people protest George Floyd's death with COVID deaths? That's not a very poignant question, but my point I was trying to make was, right, in one of the 6 or 7, we talked about the foundational understanding of the premier psychological experiments being interpreted incorrectly. This is people valuing psychology and values more so than biology. And with this, we're going to ask some what most people would call some big philosophical questions. Dropped a couple logic bombs on y'all. I don't know, episode 6 or 7 as well. But again, geez. God damn it. That is literally an individual of profound morality from the ancient past. That is why you speak their names. So we're going to talk a little bit about respect as well. Because frankly, Americans never learned anything. If you study elephants, if you take a juvenile elephant, shoot their father, that elephant is going to have no parent figure, it's going to stampede, Taurus more, it's going to be uncomfortable, it's going to lash out. Human beings do the exact same thing. But we're going to talk about that at the society level, and how basically technology has not dumbed everyone down, but it's increased the patheticness. And we're going to make the point, I actually had up on the board on the last episode just Ben Shapiro, and I didn't even say why, but that's why that motherfucker has a career. People have been pacified so much. He comes out and points out some basic fucking facts. I'm not a fan of Ben Shapiro. And then says, oh, look how fucking stupid that guy is. He talks real fast. I have watched a bunch of his stuff, but again, that's why he has a career, is because most people literally can't think, no one understands scientific methodology, no one can interpret science, and people just scream really loud about the morals they think they have. Then we're going to ask another question, why do individuals assume group identity? Good, bad, and in between. And then I'm gonna teach you how to suffer. I know, I said I'm really smart, I'm clearly a white male, I do come from a middle class family. So I'm going to tell you about very, very directly how all that privilege has helped me. Let's get started. So the first question we're exploring is, why do people do drugs? Well, physiologically, new metabolic pathways. Drink some alcohol, smoke some pot, take some LSD, do some mushrooms, smoke some DMT, do a variety of other substances. Well, it's just getting processed by the body through new novel pathways. That's just like when you're eating new foods when you're a young kid, like your palate expands. I mean, that's why foods you used to not like that you now like, it's just because you never tried them before, you weren't used to the processing of the substance. Same thing with drugs, but within the blood-brain barrier. And the only thing that really makes drug experience different is the toxicity, well, the ligand receptors that it binds to, but the difference in mortality and toxicity doesn't damage the natural functioning mechanisms that sustain your life in the first place. Sometimes you have hard and soft. Like this is the biological reality, and the psychology is, oh yeah, dude, I did a hard drug, I don't know, did heroin, or I don't know, smoked crystal meth, or did crocodile, or whatever the fuck else. Remember, hard, soft, those are words. Metabolic pathways and toxicity and mortality, those are meaningful biological terms. But a hard drug is just a drug that can kill you. And that's because, again, boredom is a fate worse than death. Every biological organism, whether they thought about it or not, to some level has to be aware that they can die. And from our axiomatic fact in physics and biology, or axiomatic fact from physics, is that the universe is trying to be more efficient. Life evolves, we can make choices. When we're not producing new information, we get bored. And we say that's the worst thing ever. Our actions say that, not our words. Psychologically, you lose inhibition. We're a bunch of scared animals on a rock. We have a lot more technology. We're a lot more goofy and spooky. We're afraid to talk to one another. Oh, I need some liquid courage to go connect with another rock mate because I don't have any personality. Oh, go look at the finance world. How many of you coked out, alcoholed out fucking idiots even have, go watch my, how much is a lot of money video. You people don't make a lot of money. You're just part of, we'll get to it, but you're part of the universal identity crisis. Where everyone just has no fucking clue, whoa, what their life is supposed to be because you're just supposed to have fun with the people around you and everyone else is told all these American narratives. Be the hard worker, be the one that goes the extra distance, be the one that pushes the rules. And everyone's a bunch of pussies. But why do depressed people get addicted to drugs? I made an egregious scientific claim that depression doesn't exist. So what does your empirical value function is more correct? That depressed people, again, what does that mean? What is a depressed person? Someone who hates themselves, someone who has suicidal ideation. Well, again, everyone knows they're going to die. If you're not producing new stuff, if your life's not progressing, you feel stuck. So depressed people do more drugs to activate new pathways to feel some sort of environmental stimulus. But again, that's definitely not the correct answer. You should definitely institutionalize depression as an actual disease. You should build multi-billion-dollar companies. And then you should say, we're going to go cure this disease. Because remember, it doesn't exist. But that's the psychology of it all. We create a problem, and then some hero comes and saves it. Oh yeah, you want to be a hero? Just fucking talk to somebody and actually give a fuck what they say. I know it's hard. You have to have an attention span for longer than 2 seconds. You have to understand that there's other people on the planet. And maybe they just want to have a good day too. But in America, yikes, can't really do that shit. But this is why people do drugs. So now, why do people value psychology more than biology? Well, I don't really have, there's no definitive answers to that question. We're going to address kind of the big questions about science and religion here. Frankly, the only difference between science and religion is technology and time. But no one cares to think for 5 fucking minutes. But the reality is death bounds knowledge. And I have fundamental theorem up here. I just have this as a brief reference. If you actually read my real proofing, there's a ton of these. But if what a fundamental theorem is, you have layers to dichotomy. Think about a car mechanic has a different lingo than a gymnast. A gymnast has a different lingo than a tax accountant. A fundamental theorem is words that you can speak that are true at every level of dichotomy. From slang language all the way down to fundamental diction. But this is true. What do you say when someone dies? Johnny passed away. Johnny's gone. Johnny's not here anymore. Right? We said language is the defense mechanism of a species. So what do you say when someone dies? Well, you literally can't say anything. That's because death bounds knowledge. It's just profoundly true. I saw it on Reddit. It's probably, again, 4 months ago, 5 months ago now. But there's a subreddit called Shower Thoughts. All of the really high voted comments and threads on Reddit, Shower Thoughts, are fundamental theorems. Remember the curse of Goodwill Hunting? Anyone who can think can figure shit out. And you just, to be a math genius, you just have to do it with fundamental diction. Those are what those are. But the shower thought was, death is the universal experience no one knows anything about. Our empirical value function says the exact, it shows no difference of the statement. This is my words, that's some random words guy on the internet. They're both completely correct and empirically true. But let's address the dichotomy of heaven and hell. Assume, obviously you don't say God damn it because it was an Asian genius. He's a big floaty, omniscient energy being thing. And of course not. Nobody's ever thought that. If you actually study the historical record, that's narrative that other people have already been aware about for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. And if you go and actually, there's no diction for Aaron, but there's some diction for actually Jesus. And they can't talk about death either. But what happens when you erase a computer file? What happens when I erase the words on my whiteboard? Do they go away forever? No, they don't. They literally can't. They literally can't. So how the fuck is the person who wrote those words going to go away forever? The real answer is no. The answer to that is no. But what happens when you die? The true scientific answer is I don't know. But these are facts, man. There are no closed systems. There are more microbiome floras in your stomach right now than there are yous. So maybe if we put on our thinking caps and say, how big is big? Go outside and look up. American history, human history is a fucking blip of fucking nothing in a sea of fucking everything. And if you call aliens, guess how much they know? Still not that much. But there are no closed physical systems. You can't measure a system you have not interacted with. Go ahead and put a little box. That is the complete reduction of the measurement problem of quantum mechanics. The purpose of life is to learn. To learn is to grow. To grow is to change. And here in America, with a bunch of technology, we can literally sit there and wait to die. That's a song by City and Color, a great band. Dallas Green's the main singer. But it's true. These psychological things are true. People value psychology more than biology. Your technology has raised enough. People make 4 or 5 genuine friends, if that. They have a wife, a spouse, a husband, whoever. And now they're just sitting there on a roller coaster, just scooting through life saying, oh, what's next? Well, I don't know. Take a risk? Fuck no. Let's just wait here until we die. Moving on. So what is the function of groupthink? For the good and for the bad? Well, projection of an individual assumes the good of a group and denies the bad. Kind of college degrees, religions, and professions. Using the George Floyd example, I just saw the Minneapolis police came out and penned a letter. We're against Chauvin, whoever the fucking murderer is. Well, the fact is, actions speak louder than words. And when you take an 8-week civil service test your whole life, you wave your flag real fucking fast, you stand up at the ball games, and then you read no books, you study no history, you study no law, you apply no law, you talk to no lawyers. Well, it doesn't fucking do anything. And it's cowardly. I mean, it's not even a step up. Here's literal murderers in society. Here's cowards. Here's a huge jump in basic normal behavior. America is like here, the whole society. whole fucking thing. We're not at basic human behavior anymore. Good job, guys. How about college degrees? Go on LinkedIn. Mathematically proven, anyone can learn as long as they apply themselves. The reason people don't apply themselves is because of fucking groupthink. They go around their fucking friends, they can satisfy their basic psychological and biological behaviors, and now they're just going to sit there and wait to die. But, and more generally for religion. The other one thing I want to say that I'm virtually certain of for religion is the large-scale historical trend from polytheism to monotheism is almost certainly a projection of individual sexuality towards a single sexual partner. How many people like to fuck? How many people, maybe when they're 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, like to fuck a lot? Fun fact, I actually didn't. I've always kind of wanted a real wife. But here in America, a bunch of degenerates do a bunch of drugs because they can't just talk to one another so they can have sex. Because again, groupthink, society, raise awareness, people are fucking pathetic animals. But the large-scale trend from polytheism to monotheism is almost certainly a reflection of the efficiency of a single sexual partner. That's about all I want to say for religion. But then strength in numbers for safety, right? The reason that human beings are the predominant top of the food chain on planet Earth is because we speak to one another. Have you ever been in a room with multiple dogs? One of the little guys is sitting there just bark, 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 and then his friends hears him bark, and he starts barking. You can literally hear them form a network. That is all we fucking do with our words. And it's to stay safe. And a group is going to value the safety of a group over any one individual 100% of the time. The ancient Greeks used to throw, or I already talked about them throwing, superstitiously throwing babies off cliffs. But to the murderers and cowards, America and basic behavior, the ancient Greeks also buried suicides with unmarked graves. Because again, everyone's going to fucking die. If you say, "Oh, I have depression. I'm so scared of like just being me," I mean, you are not a murderer, but you're truly a coward. And the difference between the two is substantial, but it's again substantially below basic normal human behavior. But then we talked about biologically, age is just a number from a cellular perspective. Same with psychology. And when you have a bunch of 50, 60, 70, 80, 90-year-olds who are 14 in their fucking heads, they will forever be fucking 14 mentally because of technology and insulation from suffering. Well, they're gonna form protectionist economic policies. But guess what? Everything's a-changing. Nothing golden lasts, pony boy. And at a group level, this facilitates denial. And then I have denial stops hypocrisy briefly. The psychological function of denial is a knee-jerk reaction, right? When someone speaks a stupid argument out loud, they can literally hear that stupidity. It's a visceral experience. And just to avoid those thoughts altogether, just to not think about them, just to put them away, well, it stops that awareness of that hypocrisy, but only briefly. Like, I mean, you have to try to go into denial. And denial does not stop hypocrisy in the long run. But that's the power of groupthink. A bunch of fucking idiots stand around, and one smart guy or one person with morals stands up. If you don't live in a pathetic society, you don't go into denial at the group level, the other people will change. But if you do live in a pathetic society, they just won't care, they'll push you away and they'll go somewhere else. And now, like, the juvenile response to that is saying, "Oh, I'm gonna go change the world. I'm gonna go prove them wrong." But as I covered on my last lecture, people just don't think about one another. And that's normal, that's healthy, that's good. But again, when there's dying people because of fundamentally denied scientific discoveries, it's murder on the highest level. And then the vast majority of the population are the cowards who just truly don't care in any way. But the thing I wanted to say is Sigmund Freud. I mean, we are watching regression in society as it fucking happens. Sigmund Freud right now is railing a fuck ton of code. Right now, some strippers' titties up in heaven right fucking now, laughing at our fucking society, saying, "This is what projection is actually." My point is, in psychology right now, which again is a bunch of fucking idiots. Get mad, go ahead. But psychologists say that Sigmund Freud is not all of that relevant. Projection is the most relevant psychological thing I've ever fucking heard that describes our society. And I've been screaming this from the rooftops for fucking 10 years. 10 years. Holy fuck. That is the function of groupthink. Or college degrees. Go on LinkedIn and find someone who's been a single mom and they graduated from Harvard. Wait a second, on one hand we have the movie Good Will Hunting about how higher education's stupid, and we have 3% of the population, or 2%, or 0.5% that graduated from a top-ranked school. And then you have the lower 30% from that 0.5% that sits there and says, "Oh wow, he graduated from fucking Harvard." Who cares? Words are words, facts are facts, science is science. Anyone who wants to study can go study and learn. But that's because, again, the hero narrative is just such a preservation in our species on a hundreds of years scale that any individual would see that criticism as treason or as blasphemy. And it's called thinking. But hey, this is groupthink in 2020. We don't burn witches. We don't stone each other. But we create fake diseases, cure them with fake problems. We create fake degrees for fake fucking expertise. And then we say, oh yeah, basic biology doesn't count anymore. Good job, guys. Moving on. So wrapping up this fun episode, I'm going to teach you how to suffer. First and foremost, what is suffering? I haven't written it up on the board, but to me there's only two real questions that you can answer to say, have you suffered? Has someone taken away your human and or constitutional rights? If it has to be yes to that statement. 2, have you modified your own life behavior to extreme and profound levels, if applicable, and you still don't get rights? If you answer to that too, yes, you have suffered. Frankly, I don't give a fuck if your rights are violated and you don't do substantial, meaningful actions to change that, even in the face of that adversity. You still haven't fucking suffered. You laid down like a little bitch and said, fuck you, to people who have. Oh, Brad, you've never suffered. So let me tell you a little bit about my life. When I was probably about 9 years old, I don't know the exact date, but I mean it was pre-first grade. I was walking down the sidewalk, and I noticed that the saying, if you step on a crack, you break your mother's back, was a reference to intersections of lines. There's no citation or source for that diction. But when little kids say that, they are understanding that their foot hitting the crack in the pavement represents the contact points of three-dimensional objects and is the intersection of a line. Fun fact, fast forward 16 years, that 30-second explanation is the only thing I use to prove the Riemann hypothesis. Because 5 seconds later, right on Ipswich Street, on the intersection of Ipswich and Chatham Ridge Road, I realized that even numbers on a well-defined number line don't have well-defined center points. But that was when I was, like I said, 9, preschool. Then from age 9 to age about 14 or 15, I was genuinely treated like a human being to some extent. People kind of cared about me. You know why? Because I was a literal fucking child. It's kind of hard to bully a child and feel like you're not a fucking bully. But then from age 15, and I've been doing fundamental mathematics to a profound level my entire life. The whole thing. And again, not win a PhD, not win a Fields Medal, profusely just spewing out math theorems as a human being. I'm a human being. Sorry for being born, world. I am truly sorry. You guys can float around in your fucking heads and start wars and kill your fucking kids all you fucking want. I do not care. I can't care. I'm an American. And then from age 15 to 19, I did really well in school. I wasn't just like a get all A's student. I was a get all A's and show up to every office hour and talk to the teachers about the shit they actually knew kid. I wasn't a good student, I was the best student. But remember, second chances are more valuable than first chances, because it's a good narrative. Oh, he turned his life around. Sorry the fuck I was born. I didn't get a fucking chance. Age 15 to 18, people said, wow, Brad, you can do anything you want. You can go out in school and be a doctor or a lawyer. I could also be a mathematician with fucking human rights and make $10 million when I'm fucking 9 years old. 9! But then from age 18 to 20, when you're profoundly smarter than other people, you're completely aware of it. The Dunning-Kruger effect, when you talk to someone dumber than you, it's not that they don't want to help you, they can't. They can't sympathize with you. They can't empathize with you. Therefore, they can't love you. So you know what happens when you're really smart? No one loves you. And that will offend some people, but actions speak louder than words. I've never felt loved in the duration of my worthless fucking life. Oh my god, he just said his life's worthless. He's depressed. No, I'm aware that I live in a fucking hell I can't leave. I'm one of the most animated, lively people ever. And all of you emotionally dead shitheads gossiped my life into non-existence. When I was 20, I started selling weed. Sold a good amount of weed at OSU, honestly not that much. Since then it's been a little bit more. Ran up that bag, shout out to the DEA. But again, I don't have human rights. Not like I don't have human rights. I can't go to school. I didn't even say it on the last episode, I honestly forgot. But I tried to report a crime, literally within the past week. The police dispatcher at OSU University got offended that she accused me of harassing her. I called the police to report a crime. I am in a sea of pathetic people. I'm supposed to, without ever being paid a single penny, without ever being respected, without ever someone looking me into the eyes and say, you solved something, I'm supposed to understand that I can't get mad, because again, under no circumstances speak facts to stupid people they can't handle. In any conversation, both parties have to feel like they are being respected. When you're the smartest person ever and you've modified world constitutions from first principle for definitive mathematical fact, and you call some cunt who, on a personal level, just wanted to improve her job, and she assumes the identity of hard-working cops because you're fucking fat trash, and I can't report a crime? I can't go to school? I can't report a crime? I have a piece of paper, I don't have it right on me, but I have a piece of paper from Mike DeWine with his signature saying that I can't sue Ohio State University. Within the past 2 months, they settled, Ohio State University settled with, again, the school likes to hire rapists. They like to diddle little fucking kids. Their band director molested a bunch of kids. And somehow they were able to settle that lawsuit. So apparently you can sue OSU. But remember, if you don't have human rights and you do good things, somehow I'm supposed to know. Not a single person in the duration of my life has ever directly interacted with my personality. You people are shameful. Your society is shameful. You will fucking read history books shaming you. You will read literature books shaming you. You will have music shaming you. And just be proud of your worthless, fucking murderous, cowardice fucking society. But if you speak like that around a pathetic person, they assume that I am violent. When I'm dealing with a cop, you are literally being insubordinate. Be obedient, do not think. Make a little bit of money, but not too much money. Go watch my $1 Million Myth video. On a personal, professional level, you have a bunch of Americans that get a job, that they have their own ideas of who they are as a person. They go make $100K, they go make $10 million, and now they think it's a lot of money, and that amount of money validates some amount of action. You people are pissing on each other and killing children over peanuts. But so from age 15 to 18, I was told I could do anything I wanted in life. And the thing I wanted to go to was go to school and do math. I went to an accredited university. I paid $6,000 a semester. I was told to sit down, shut the fuck up, and 1 + 1 = 3. And so since that has occurred, I have been disowned by my family 3 different times. I have been kicked out of my house 2 different times. I directly help and save lives with cannabis oil, but our society can't change. We're not sure if it's medicine, the FDA. Here's a fun historical fact. The reason you know the Olympians and not the Titans is because the Olympians overthrew the Titans. And you know what that probably represents? Is a genuine overthrow of the entire government. I am a 0% radical. I am calling for the complete resignation of the Supreme Court. I am calling for the complete resignation of every law enforcement, every political whoever that is aware of my work now! Y'all motherfuckers want some fucking hardball? You're gonna fucking get it. Oh, you can't call for the resignation of the Supreme Court? What the fuck are you gonna opine on, bitch? Ruth Bader Ginsburg? You think you can fucking think like me? Hilarious. Do it. First principle proof in another person's fucking desk without fucking human rights by the age of 23. As high of an intellect as you possibly get. Suck my fucking dick. If YouTube deletes this video at all, you're getting sued as well. And understand no one will pay you. Your suffering validates their patheticness. Right now, today, I have a $4 million business that should be at $40 million business because of complete fraud and scientific incompetence. I have a bar and restaurant that I can't open because of a genuine biological disease that I put up a billboard and gave people daily, harsh phone calls saying, do something. And now, from the age of 9 to the age of 18, I told my parents I need to go make money and have a fucking way to pay my fucking bills. Now, go to school, learn, hang out with your friends. And then from the instant, it was like snap of a finger. The instant my fucking worthless St. Paul, DeSales, Ohio State University gossiped in my life because I'm a drug dealer. Again, I'm less of a drug dealer than your average fucking MD. Oh, he just threw his life away. He just gave up on everything. The simple fact is the Dunning-Kruger effect. Those people are sitting there jerking their fucking dicks off saying, oh, Brad finally messed up. Now my life is better than his. Because jealousy and hatred is the only thing that I've ever perceived from a Christian, or from a fucking intellectual, or from a scientist, whoever the fuck you want to call yourselves. I want to buy a house and I want to buy a car right now, today. Right fucking now. And to do that, I have money, I just need like $50K of income. And I fucking can't. Well, the frank thing is I can, but it would stress me financially. And at 26, when I'm writing economic theory for the world, when I'm writing legals for the fucking world, and I can't go do anything without money. You have money, you do stuff. You don't have money, you fucking suffer. I've been rightfully owed $10 million $6 million since the age of 10. Sorry, my camera cut off there. I'm going to wrap this lecture up. But what I was saying is, like, my life is completely fucking ruined. I have 0 friends. Shout out to all the fake fucking DeSales friends I used to have. You people literally don't have the emotional capacity to care about yourselves or about other people. So do any hiring managers out there? If you want the laziest, shittiest, liars, stealers, thieves, people that will fuck in your bed, cum in your bed, shit in your bed, throw up in your bed, and trample all of your life, St. Francis de Sales and St. Paul University in Ohio State, St. Paul University, St. Paul and Ohio State University. Those are the people you're going to want to hire. But for real, anyone that's 18 to 35 years old, How often do you get a notification on your phone from someone else contacting you? From like a group chat, a group meet, work group meet, something like that. The frank answer is you probably have never thought about it because it's so much. I was a profoundly good friend to you people. I was a profoundly good student. I was a profoundly good son. And no one cares. It's a bunch of horny 14-year-olds trampling each other for money and validation. And I'm in 0 group chats. I was never, from high school to late college when I stopped having any friends at all, I was never in a group chat. But people would sit around and talk to me like I'm interesting and I'm engaging and I have all of these cool thoughts. Yeah, it's because I'm a math fucking genius. Sorry, guys. But I was being 100% serious. In 2017, 2018, I'm aware enough of my life to understand this shit like this can kind of happen to people like me. But since 2018 to 2020, I've put out 4 music albums. 4 fucking albums. Try to produce one. Let me know how it goes for you. I practice and sing all day. 3 hours and 3 years of work to, again, a prodigious level, and I have 5 active Spotify listeners. I have 2,600 YouTube channel views. Not video views, channel views. It's because you people don't support anything. So I'm not going to support you financially. I was 100% serious. I was going to hire all of you. I was going to help you financially. You people were all going to... I can brush a lot of bullshit under the rug. This is just too fucking much for me, man. I want to buy a fucking house. I want to buy a fucking car. And I've watched people who fucking popped Molly and snorted coke and drank 5 days a week, get jobs, have girlfriends, do bullshit, and still have a good fucking life. Because Americans don't have values at all, period. And if you're born with morals or if you work for morals, that is how you suffer. You just deal with it. So thank you to the DeSales community, thank you to the Ohio State community, and thank you to America, and thank you to humanity. I will be working with Google. I do not want any of my work at all, period. I do not have the legal rights to the science. None of my art will ever be displayed in the United States of America. Ever, period. Period, end of story, fuck all of you fat, lazy people. To the investors and to the celebrity people, whoever knows of me personally and doesn't speak up, you are trash. Your family, get on a camera and say, hey Brad, I watched you suffer for 4 years, but I didn't give a fuck because you solved math and my family matters more than yours because... And I'll be waiting for those videos. See you on the next episode.